How often needs assessments are distorted in a way by donor agendas or hierarchical considerations, and they should be practically solely rooted in population needs, right? And criticity of those needs. That should be the only kind of ponderation, really, when you think about it, no? But unfortunately, as we know, that's not the case. It just hasn't been the case for a long time. But we have to work with the way things are, not the way we would like to work things. But the first thing I'd like to say about needs assessment is that they're difficult, right? First of all, people don't get trained on needs assessments. I don't know of many, or if any, needs assessments. I was never trained in anything, practically. That's why I do this. There's not much training, and then how to train, no? I know that there's some training, for example, on, especially in health emergencies. No, when there's a health emergency, it's easier because you've got metrics like attack rates and stuff like that. But you only can start getting those really once you start intervening, right? So, not when you're kind of scanning. So that's why I'm a believer in kind of intervention-led needs assessments, no? Because rather than checklist dominated needs assessment, because I don't think you can get to know populations in a short time, and I don't think you can get to know different levels of criticity of needs using checklists or any other tools that have been invented for needs assessment. I think you really get to know needs by spending time in a place, something which isn't always possible, especially in high risk operating environments where you can only go in and out, or you have to use proxy measures or proxy people to do the needs assessment. Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you do it properly and you're aware of and you mitigate the problems associated with doing a needs assessment by proxy or by proxy measures. Yeah, so I'm a great believer in trying to even if they're really short interventions, doing needs assessment at the same time you're intervening. Yeah? I think they're cost effective. They give you much more information about populations than you would get by just moving around. Sorry about all the things going off. If you're moving around, asking people a load of questions and asking people for data and looking at their schools or looking at their health centers or whatever, no? So I think it's important to take action as you do the needs assessment, and it's not that difficult. It doesn't cost that much money, and you help and you learn. So especially for those of you who are like in projects or going to want to be in field coordinator, project coordinator positions in humanitarian contexts, where you do have the opportunity to do quick response actions to small little crises that emerge, like maybe an epidemic here, a burned village there, displaced population pocket in your already in your operating environment, where you have the ability, hopefully you have the money and the ability and the e-prep to go and do that. That's one way of doing it, and you learn a little bit about populations. Then of course you can read refugee health. I have it here. I've never read it, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I started to, but it's like very theoretical. And yeah, obviously you have to look at the top 10 priorities, that guide you. But then once you're in the top 10 priorities, what? Right? What do you look at? Shelter, water, and how useful are the standards, right? And the frameworks and all of that. So I think we need to go back to basics, and if we suspect there's an area of intervention, go there and do as widely scoped short intervention as possible, right? And I say widely scoped because the tendency sometimes to do if the organization is a shelter organization, it'll kind of tunnel vision look at shelter. If it's health, it'll look at health. If it's wash, it'll look at wash. And what theoretically, and that was what the cluster system was supposed to do, was have a more holistic view of the different components and be able to see, okay, levels of criticity within the different areas of intervention, no? But that kind of doesn't happen. Everybody kind of goes off and does their own needs assessment on wash, then somebody else goes and does their needs assessment on health, you know, and it's just, that doesn't work. So, I mean, I would encourage you, where possible, to try to do that, no? What I would call, I'm not inventing it, a intervention-based needs assessment, right? Because I think they're the most most pragmatic, right? And you get the most information information about the contextual dynamics, the different populations, who's most in need, who's not. And if you do it in a few areas, you can get comparative data, or you can look at what others are doing and get comparative insights from them, even if it's not in the form of data. Yeah, don't become data obsessed.